The lantern. I used to play baseball when I was younger, and each year we would have an end-of-season party. It was always somewhere where we could camp overnight. This one year, we had a party on an island that was once part of a larger British fortress in the 18th century. There were a lot of old walls and buildings still standing on the island. We set up our tents on the ground around the old fortification, and we had a wonderful evening hanging out and laughing and talking about the history of the island. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and I needed to go to the bathroom. The rain had begun to fall. Not hard, but it was a passing shower. When I unzipped my tent and looked out, I saw a man with a lantern standing on the shore. And from what I could see, it looked like he was looking out at the sea, and dressed in an old British soldier's outfit, with the red and white coat. I remember thinking, what is that guy doing? It never even dawned on me that it could be a ghost. I got out of my tent, and when I returned, he was gone. I asked who it was on the shore the next morning, and no one knew what I was talking about. I think it might really have been someone still standing guard after all these years. Lights on the highway. I was on my way home from work one night. It was around 11:30. The night was clear and warm. I came around this turn on the highway and noticed these lights in the sky on the other side of a valley ahead of me. I thought it was a plane mistaking tower lights for runway lights, and I was expecting to see it crash. But it drifted down the hillside, and as I went down my side of the valley, it went down its side of the valley coming towards me. And it went past me, almost at eye level, when I crossed the bridge at the bottom. I could see inside the windows, and they were illuminated with color. I was on the highway traveling north, and this helicopter, as I thought it to be, was on my right side, traveling south. We passed each other, and I pulled over on the side of the road going up the other side of the valley, just to see what was really going on. This object made no sound and landed on the road behind me. Still thinking it was some kind of man-made craft, I watched it for a few minutes. At one point, I even wanted to turn my truck around and shine my headlights on it, just to see what it is. But I thought it might be some kind of drug deal, or something that could put me in danger, so I didn't. I waited for another car to perhaps come around the turn behind me and shine its lights on the object. But no other cars were on the road that night, which was strange because that's a busy section of highway. After a few minutes, this object lifted off and turned southeast. And it left so fast that I could hardly follow it with my eyes. As soon as it left, traffic came around the turn, almost as if they were held up while this thing was there. I came home and told Dad, and he told me he thought I might have seen a UFO. I don't know if that's what it was, but I never saw anything even close to that before or since. Something in the headlights. I'm a truck driver. I work night shift. I was driving back to my shop one night up north in 2015. I was rounding this left-hand turn, and it was winter, and there were large snowbanks on the side of the road. Now this particular spot was bad for moose. They would walk out onto the road, so you had to slow down when you entered the turn, and keep a keen eye open for moose on the road or even in the ditch, waiting to cross the road. Now the ditch was about 6 feet deep. It had a drop-off from the shoulder. As I was coming around the turn, at around maybe 50 miles an hour, I was watching in my headlight's beam for the reflection of eyes of a moose, or maybe even a deer. But what flashed past my eyes was something I never expected. As the light scanned the ditch of the turn, behind the deep part of the ditch, came these two unbelievably huge gray wings. The gray skin of these wings reflected my headlights, and that's what caught my eye originally. These wings looked like bat wings, with bone structures in them. But what was even more terrifying was each wing had to be near 6 to 8 feet long. They were flapping as if whatever it was trying to lift something out of the snow. I couldn't see this creature, only the wings. They came down in a V shape. But the creature was behind the snowbank, and the wings themselves were about 4 feet apart at the top of the snowbank. So whatever was on the other side of that bank was a monster bird of some kind. It shocked me so bad when I realized what I saw, I actually cried after passing it. I couldn't comprehend what it could have been. I couldn't turn around or stop because it was just too dangerous to do so on the road. When I told the other drivers at the shop what I saw, they said it could have been a great northern owl. They are huge birds. But when I told them it had bat-like wings with gray skin and no feathers, they went silent. And now they joke about it to me. I guess everyone has their own coping mechanisms.